Hello, 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 hello again. My beauties and beasts, my kings and queens, and those in between. What is going on? How is everybody doing? Welcome back to Swallow Your Truth. I'm your girl, Lois Life on Ink. I have missed you. I really have. Forgive me. But you know what? It's been kind of hella busy because it's summer. Yeah, and I'm trying to enjoy every bit of it since I still work from home and someone is kind of like bound to be home because, there's still that pandemic situation. Okay, it's still, it's rising and it's giving birth to children. It's called the Delta variant. Wear your mask. Anyway, so there's that, right? And then also I have decided that I want to move to Aruba. Yes, yes, yes. Claps, claps, claps up. Yay, little raccoon cats. Yay. Yay. Why Aruba? Because I think it's just so beautiful. And fun fact, it's actually below the hurricane belt, so it never gets any hurricane. So I've decided that that's going to be my manifestation going forward. My plans are going to deviate to basically accommodate my relocation to Aruba. That said, also, lovely thing is that the Olympics are here. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I feel like every single time I record, it's always during some sporting events. Whatever, judge me discreetly, or harshly, that's fine, that's your thing. I just love sports. And also, more than that, like, this was not gonna happen because apparently obviously we had to postpone because 2020 was like the worst year ever in human history, and so they had to postpone until this year, right? But now that they decided that there wouldn't be any fan base because guess what? There's still that whole, again, pandemic situation just rampantly destroying lives, okay? So then I heard and I read somewhere that the citizens of Tokyo did not want this to happen at all. So now, and then there's the other side of it where also the Olympic committee was saying because if it doesn't happen, like literally this would be the end of the Olympics. So I guess who won that situation? The show must go on, right? Is that the conclusion? Yeah, so, and I cried. I cried at the opening ceremonies. Normally I don't cry, I'm very happy because I'm just like, woo, I get to see like the countries and the colors and, it's like people coming together. The world is coming together, right? But I cried because the world is coming together in a time where there's just still so much turmoil, but also there's just a lot of other things going on too, but for a brief moment, people get to compete and just, show out their sportsmanship and represent their countries. And no matter what, I feel like Olympics always represents just a strength beyond anything, times infinity, right? Also, it's such a beautiful day outside. I'm also at my parents' house, even though I said I'm not going there anymore. But I'm house sitting for the moment because they are away, and I have to go and also babysit our fur babies, also known as Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, they're not dogs, they're cats. They're just so cute. They're just the cutest, most friendliest, animals ever. That's why when I hear about animal cruelty, I'm like, why? What did they do to you? So so that's happened. So I'm in the backyard of my parents' house. It's lovely out here. Through the years, my stepdad had put in like water fountains. He built a bar. I mean, it looks like a resort, literally. Okay, these like wonderful pot plants. And my mom put in fire pits, and it's a divine Zen moment out here. And at night, it looks dope. It looks like this majestic getaway garden that should be in a magazine. I'm not gonna lie, probably like home and garden. I don't know, whatever. I need those like, you know, home magazines. I decided to record outside because it's just gorgeous and nature will never disappoint. You know, it will destroy things, but that's for recycling purposes, I think, and just to rebuild. But nature will never disappoint. So, that said, I made a veggie pizza, and I'm vegging on that right now. And I'm sipping on some nice like cucumber water, just really enjoying this moment, you know. So I was like, let me reach out to my friends because I miss you guys. I do. And thank you for the emails, you know. I am well, I am alive, all is good, thank goodness, knock on wood, you know. Hope you guys are too, you know. You know, and thank you so much for just checking in. It's just been a minute, you know. And then, yeah, here we go. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Coming to you live. There's so many topics I want to talk about because I feel like there's been so much going on. But there's one particular that kind of jolted me and empowered, I guess, if you will, ignited the motivation to go for it. And I recently went to a hotel to visit my friend who was visiting. And as a person who's worked in hospitality before, I can completely understand just sometimes, you know, people are just wretched, you know. And I'm staying in the front lobby, waiting for her to come down, and waiting for her to come down, and I'm just hanging out and whatever, just kind of listening. Not really listening, but what are we doing? So, as I was saying, right? At the lobby, chilling, just basically waiting. And this guy comes in, coming in hot, goes straight for the front desk, and just not even hello, how are you, a salutation or anything, a greeting. He's just like, do you remember me? Do you remember to the front desk agent, the girl at the desk? So obviously the woman or the lady doesn't, you know, is not trying to, she's trying to understand, okay, who are you? Maybe I met you before. Anyway, she's just doing her best to accommodate this guy. And I can just tell by his demeanor, he's just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Just, that's his thing, like to just come in so forcefully and to basically demand that his presence is more important than anyone else. And it, for whatever reason, I guess he's just trying to basically tell the woman, hey, by the way, you know, I'm trying to make reservations this on the 3rd, because of COVID, they couldn't do it, I don't even think the agent got one word in, and all I know is that I just watched this guy just explode for no reason. Slammed the plexiglass, and I walked out. And I'm just like, even if the final resolution was not solved, or even if there wasn't a resolution, you know, that was comfortable with his, for him, there was no reason for that type of behavior, okay? And as I said before, I've been in hospitality for a long time before, bartending, what up? And it was fun, but when you're behind a space and you're giving service to people, I feel like they always forget that they are customers too, and we're customers too, right? So we should drop everything to make you a top priority. And it happens to a lot of us. Okay, I understand the urgency, I understand the, time is money, money is time situation. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, there's really no reason to be rude to people. Because what I think is this, and what I also feel is this: just because you yell and just because you raise your voice does not mean it's going to change the outcome of the situation. So yeah, just because you yell, just because you raise your voice, just because you're slamming on things and throwing things and etc. whatever. Also working in retail and a background in retail, I've had my share of experiences where I'm just like, how are you raised? Is this how you talk to your mom? Like, were you raised by a pack of wolves? Like, are you like, how are you this strung out, this early in the morning, especially when I used to work in that industry, and I just don't understand. Let's say for example, right, if I went to the store to open it up and, you do the whole morning ritual and this and third. Money needs to be counted, reports need to be printed, etc., etc. There's a whole thing that goes on in the morning, and that's why, hopefully, if you're a responsible manager and or assistant manager, you get there early enough to get things done, right? Anyway, I digress. So let's just say one experience for measure. And the place I worked at was this shoe store, lovely place, and for me it was great because it was just fantastic. It was close to my home, and I had severe millions access of great shoes. Obviously, you see my closet, okay? Because I have a problem, and I'm not going to get rid of that problem because it's a very expensive problem. But I love my shoes, okay? I do. What girl doesn't love a shoe closet? Like, literally, I want, like, that entire store embodied my vision of what I would like my shoe closet to be. Okay, we had 9 aisles. Men's was on one side, women on one side, and then children in the back wall. But I was only caring about the 5 aisles of women's shoes. So that I was like, ooh, in the future, I want my closet to look like this. All my little shoes in a row, color coordinated, facing one way and everything. Anyway, that's a dream. Dreams are free. Let me be. So this morning, I came and I opened, etc. Counting money as usual. Okay, switching reports, sending things to home office. UPS guy is in because he needs to get his trolleys on the back. And so, here we are. This customer is now at the gate, pounding at the gate as if we owe her some sort of acknowledgement because she's there 15 minutes early before the place even opens. Starts yelling through the gate, "You need to open up because I have an early meeting at work and I have to get shoes for my granddaughter. And plus I need to do a return." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, we're not open. Not even in my head, I told her, "Miss, I'm sorry, we're not open." What does that mean? You're in there. And the UPS guy's in there. I'm like, because I work here. And the UPS is probably part of my situation that needs to be, followed on a daily basis to get us the shipment that we need to fill the store. So of course he's here. okay? And so she keeps on continuing to just completely cut off her common sense and just pound at the gate. Pound at the gate. As if, again, I'm going to be like, you know what? I will open the door for you early so you can shop for your grandchild and do a return before your early meeting. Whose problem was that to not do any proper time management and plan to come this early? By the way, the place was open, I think, until like, I don't know, 9:30, but I didn't stay there that late. I was only doing the morning shift. But the point is this. Just because you act like a caged animal, okay, on crack, does that mean that people are obligated to serve you? Okay, and sometimes, even when you're kind, it doesn't mean the recipient is going to be kind to you. Okay, but being nice to people really does go a long way. Okay. How can I call it? Maybe, I guess, entitlement syndrome? Is this where we're going? Is that the flow? Is that direction? Like, who gives you that right? Who gives you that right to just pop off? Just because you feel entitled. You know, name dropping because you want to go to head of the line. Threatening to call corporate because you feel like you've been dishonored in some way because the service was not up to your liking in your timing. What? There's something that I know that I personally would never do. I would never go down to your level and match your status of that craziness moment, okay? Because I'm trying to keep myself calm, to understand your problem, so I can find a solution to get you out of here faster. Is that being rude? No, it's being efficient and effective. So if I pop off at the same time you do, we're not getting anywhere, right? That's what I think. But, and also the same thing also goes for these, like, now we're back again to mask mandates because of the simple fact that there's a vaccines out there, 3 of them. I took the Pfizer. And because you feel so entitled to come for people who wear masks for protecting themselves against you or protecting you against themselves, you're going to sit there and build a whole campaign of hate against them, right? Not only that, now we're kind of going backwards, okay? It's because it's now this, it's more so in here in the States where people are just like, no, what are you telling me? Don't tell me to wear a mask. Don't tell me to make a vaccine. You're coming for my guns. You're coming for, my freedom. No, we're just trying to literally progress out of this because it's a pandemic that's giving birth to new variants, and it's not going to stop until you take a vaccine and until you literally play your part as a human being to get us back to normal. So yeah, it's entitlement syndrome, right? Yes, we all have free will. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to, put the pressure button on you. It's up to you, your life, your choice, etc. Okay? But in the same way, don't feel entitled, privileged, that you're going to go for people of the decisions they make. Don't feel entitled in a disgusting way to treat people as nothing when you're trying to get something done for yourself. Because at the end of the day, one or two things are going to happen. Either that person is going to be really nice enough and really patient enough to deal with their crap and just get you through the attitude and just to get you out of the door, or you can have a screaming match and it 100% will always escalate. 100% will always escalate far beyond anybody else's control, because it all started because somebody just could not stay in their lane. Stay in your lane. Check yourself. Pump the brakes. It's not that serious. Why does it have to be that serious? Like, why? So nice out here. It's so nice out here. Yeah, and this is where we are. This is where we are. And that's why I probably love, that's why I'm going to circle back to the sports. That's why I like watching sports, because even though we're fighting against one another, not fighting, we're competing against one another, at the end of the day, we're all humans literally fighting for the same thing, or striving for the same thing, which is to win, right? Hopefully. And but I've never seen extreme entitlement in sports, okay? I mean, I've seen it. It does exist, obviously. But it's not as extreme as other industries where you can provide customer service. And you're in a situation where you have to deliver goods and service to a person, but then they feel they want to destroy your entire well-being because it's not up to par to their 100% standards. Okay. I also remember too, while I was in retail, that I believe, it was a line. I mean, lines happen everywhere. Again, that's probably the reason why I hate shopping. I hate shopping, y'all. Yeah, I'm a girl. I'm supposed to be like, let's go shopping. Let's go to Starbucks. And no, I hate it. Okay. I would rather just literally sit at home and wait for Prime packages to show up. Thank you, Amazon. Okay. During quarantine in 2020, it was like Christmas every day. No joke though, it was. And I think also in general, malls are going to be obsolete at some point. But anyway, I digress. So, it's a line. Doing my best to accommodate, per usual. And I remember this guy. It was like maybe like 3 people ahead of him. Mind you, again, as usual, people call out, running late, etc. Okay. So I was kind of solo that day for a bit. With this guy specifically, cut the line, came to me, and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Sir, no, I do not." Kind of reminds me of the guy in the lobby. I was waiting for my friend at the hotel. I said, "Sir, no, I'm so sorry, I do not know." He's like, "I'm a doctor, and this is ridiculous. I have to wait in line. I went to Stanford, or wherever heck he went, blah, you spend so much money, you're probably still in debt." Anyway, so I'm looking at him I'm like, "Yes, sir, so how can I help you?" He's like, "All I want is to just literally buy these dress shoes and be on my very way because I have a dinner party to go to." So I'm like, "Sir, as you can see, there's a line. I'll be done momentarily. I'm trying to do my best. I'm shorthanded. I apologize." He then takes a moment. I think he had a moment of like a glitch kind of went off where it was like, I should probably not be, I don't know, a dick. But then he decided that, no, he's going to keep going. He's going to tell me what school he went to, how many accreditations he has, and why he should not be standing in line. And he's never stood in line before because all he has to do is mention he's a doctor and doctors save lives. And and even when I'm thinking like, well, if you're a doctor and you save lives, then why aren't you not working today? Did you work already? Or And why would you plan to come to buy new shoes literally 20 minutes before your dinner party? So, again, or whatever he was going, lunch party, luncheon, whatever. Anyway, the point is, he made a scene, to the level where he literally just threw the pair of shoes at me, walked out cursing. So I concluded, I was like, well, you asked me before, did I know who you are? And I said, no, but now I do. And now and I do know who you are. I would hope that you are not the one operating me, or I'm under your mercy for any physician care, because no thank you. If you're this short-tempered over a short line, I can't even imagine how you are doing a practice or bedside manners with patients, right? Listen, I get it, I understand. And it's quite, what's the word I'm trying to say? Quite obvious we're all different, right? I'm not saying to be perfect. I'm not saying to, dot every I, cross every T. I'm just saying, just take a moment to literally just play out how your actions are going to affect others, and most importantly, yourself. Play it out. Take a moment to go through a preview in your head while you're ranting and raving about irrelevant stuff that really it's not going to matter 6 months from now or a year from now. It won't matter, because you could be dead. Just saying, putting it out there. Life happens, like, quick. Okay. Blink, blink, and then now you're dead. So it's just, I can't put it any other way more bluntly, because it's not funny. I'm laughing because I just don't know how else to put it. Okay, when I'm trying to make a point, I'm very truthful. It may sound like it's kind of dagger-like, but I don't know how to soften the blow, if you will, quote unquote, because obviously if I did, this entire podcast would never have the theme, which is called Swallow Your Truth. I see things very matter-of-factly, and I just call it out. Sometimes it hurts people, I know, but also, as I said before in my other previous podcast, accountability, I will always apologize if I've hurt you, because I am not entitled. I am not privileged. I do not have that, privilege to sit here, or the right to sit here and just hurt people on a consistent basis because I feel like I'm the top star of the world every single day. Yes, I treat myself with respect because I am this top star of the world in my life and for me and for my own self-respect and self-love. Okay, but I don't go around, just cutting lines, yelling at people who are giving me service because, I went to a certain school, or I speak so many languages, or I live in a certain neighborhood. No. Okay, we're not doing that. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's something called karma. And it exists. And when that boomerang makes its way back, you're screwed. And I always feel that's why I believe that history will always repeat itself, because we have yet to learn the lesson. And that's called karma, basically, in just different forms. yeah, I understand there's so many stresses in the world. Things are going on. So this world, we kind of like, it's an uncontrolled chaos. It's always been uncontrolled chaos, but it's just more so turned on, like to the 10th power. And with like an inferno full of, like, what's higher than gasoline? I guess gasoline, like jalapeno peppers. Is jalapeno the hottest pepper? Or is ghost pepper the hottest pepper? But you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's turned up more. Emotions are at a very, very high level for certain reasons, and I understand. But guess what, y'all? At the end of the day, if we work together, I think we can get things done. You know, you have to be willing to work together, and that's probably why I love sports. Because even though, as I said before, and especially in the Olympics, we're competing against different countries with the same sport, we're always working together as teammates, right? And take away the Olympics, when we really have to stand by your own country and represent your country. In a normal world, where you see tennis, golf, basketball, etc., we're all united, right? But nobody feels entitled enough to be like, I run this ship. I am the captain. Yeah, you could be the boss, you could be the captain, yes. But you're working as a team, as a collective team. You're not working with, we deserve this because we are Americans or we are, Australians. No, it's just, you deserved it because you did the best you could and you won. Stop being entitled, yo. Check yourselves. Your soul will be happier. And that's why I kind of realized that as much and as deep cuts as my story has come for me with, that should, always trigger me to be like, let me be mean to other people, right? But that's his battle. That's his battle with his own demons, because he feels entitled to treat people the way he does. Not so much people, just mostly me. And sometimes my mom, if it doesn't ricochet, okay? And it's for the simple fact that he knows, damn sure, that he cannot control me. And that's why it happens. So the entitlement syndrome is higher because now he has to fight against a bigger force instead of me being compliant. And it's exactly what entitlement is. They want you to be compliant to their to their power. So if, let's say, if they yell or scream and bang and throw things and throw cell phones and throw books and cause a tantrum, I don't know, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, it's stupid and it's nonsense and it's worthless. Yeah. So I am going to sit out here and enjoy this beautiful moment with nature and just TV outside and waterfalls going on, watching the Olympics, listening to music at the same time, and talking to y'all. And just be grateful that I'm not that person. And be grateful that I'm not going to be that person ever. Alright. Learn to be kind, y'all. Most importantly, get vaccinated. And wear a mask. Please. Alright. The world is waiting for you to do the right thing. I love y'all. I do. Feel free to leave me a message, okay? I think you can. I'm going to leave the link in the description of this podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again for Swallow Your Truth. I'm a girl, Laura's Lifeline Inc. Peace and love. Until next time.